with our session. We have completed 2 lectures. In these 2 lectures, we have already completed simple stress and strain, definition of stress, definition of strain, and introduction of type of loads. So all these things are already covered. So let me take a pen. Let's say red color. Okay. So we have already talked about what is stress, what is strain, and change the color. Okay. So we already talked about load as well. So these topics are already covered in lecture 1 and lecture 2. Then we try to talk about types of mechanics, various types of mechanics that we need to study in our engineering. So then we talked about solid mechanics, difference between engine mechanics and solid mechanics, assumptions of solid mechanics. All these things are already discussed. Okay. Then we try to talk about type of loads, stress, and in stress, various types of stresses. These things are already discussed, and I already told you that the normal stress is given by the formula sigma equal to P by E. Okay. Today we will continue our discussion from this point. I think in the last lecture as well, we tried to talk about our stress strain curve diagram as well. We tried to talk about on which axis there will be a stress, on which axis there will be a strain. So all these things are already completed. We already talked about what is strain, normal strain. This will be your normal strain. So normal strain will be given by epsilon or small e, and it will be nothing than change in length upon original length. So we also talked about Hooke's law. So by Hooke's law, for a bar, stress will be directly proportional to strain. So these things are already discussed, and that time, elastic constant will come into picture. Whenever we are trying to talk about normal stress and normal strain, that time there will be a Young modulus. And if you try to find out what is sigma in normal stress condition, it is P by A. What is strain? Strain is nothing but change in length upon original length. Now, if you try to put this 1 and 2 into this equation 3, what you will get? You will get E as PL by AE. Sorry, change in length as PL by AE. Or otherwise, we can say E will be equal to PL by A delta L. So these things are very, very important. These two things, I will name it as A and B. These formulas we have to use for solving the problems of bars in series and bars in parallel. See, this kind of bar will be there. This is a circular bar, circular rod. We can say a longitudinal force or along the axis, force F is applied. And due to this force F, there will be a change in length. And in this case, LO is your original length. And what is AO? AO is your cross section area. Then this LO will get converted into, or LO will get deformed by delta L. So the change in length will be delta L, and the total length after application of force will be LO plus delta L. And due to this, what will be the Young modulus? Young modulus will be given by the formula PL, or in this case it will be F. FL into L become LO. And what about A? A will become AO. And delta L will remain as it is. So E will be F into LO upon A delta L. So E in this case can be calculated by the formula FLO upon A into L. Okay. And to find out the delta L, what will be the formula? F into LO upon AO into E. So if E is nothing but your material property, if it is known to you, let's say for mild steel, E will be something different. For cast iron, E will be something different. If you know the E value, if the E value is given in the problem, you can always calculate how much deformation will be there due to application of force. Okay, are you getting my point? And this is one of the reasons why we will always take strain is on x-axis and stress is on y-axis. Okay. So in the last class we stopped on this stress strain diagram. So let's start with stress strain diagram. What will be there on y-axis? In the last lecture we ended our lecture with this. What will be there on y-axis? On y-axis there will be a stress. And what will be there on x-axis? There will be strain. Now how this curve is getting plotted, please try to understand. I will take a blank PPT for it. See, we will take a specimen. Let's say for a mild steel, I would like to, let's say for a mild steel, I would like to perform the tension test. Okay, so I will take a specimen, something like this, or a bar of this, this geometry, and then I will try to apply the tensile force on it. Let's say the force will be F. Initially, due to application of force F, what will happen? There will be a deformation. Let's say I am applying force equal to 10 kilonewton only. Okay, now this is a mild steel bar. So due to application of force, 10 kilonewton, what will happen? There will be a certain amount of deformation in this bar. Okay. Now, as soon as I will release this 10 kilonewton load, what will happen? This rod will regain its original shape and size. This rod will regain its original shape and size. Now, if I increase the load further to 20 kilonewton, what will happen? Again, it may possible or it may not possible that the rod will regain its original shape and size. Depending on the strength of the rod, this factor will get decided. Now, how this load is getting applied? This load will be applied with the help of UTM machine. Okay, so we have this experiment to perform. In this experimentation, we will take a rod and we will fix between the heads of UTM machine, and after fixing it between UTM machine, we will be, with the help of hydraulic load, we will try to pull this rod. Okay, and by pulling this rod, this load will get applied, and we will try to check the strength of the given material. Now, if we increase the load further, let's say F equal to 30 kilonewton, what will happen? Now, it may possible, the case will come, as soon as we will apply the load, what will happen? Deformation will go on increasing, compared to this 10 kilonewton deformation, or, in the case of force equal to 10 kilonewton, whatever deformation was there, as compared to that, there will be more amount of deformation when the force will be of 30 kilonewton. Now, if I try to release the rod, it may possible the rod will regain its original shape, or it will not regain its original shape and size. If it is not regaining its original shape and size, it means there will be some plastic deformation or permanent deformation. So these values are, hypothetical. But whenever we will test the material, we will go on increasing the load on that, specimen, and by increasing the load, we will try to check the strength of that component or that specimen, and we will go on increasing the load till the rod will get failed. Now we know the example of rubber. रबर को हम अगर थोड़ा सा पुल करते हैं, क्या होता है? इट विल रिगेन इट्स ओरिजिनल शेप एंड साइज. अगर और थोड़ा ज्यादा पुल कर दिया तो क्या होगा? There will be some permanent deformation in that rod, in that rubber. Okay, and if we increase the load further, what will happen? That rubber will get failed. Okay, so the same thing will happen with this, material. See, first of all, we are trying to talk about ductile material. So whatever discussion is going on, this discussion is limited to ductile material only. Okay, now whenever there will be a permanent deformation, still if I increase the load further to, let's say, 40 kilonewton or 50 kilonewton, what will happen? See, the material will try to take the load, but there will be a permanent deformation. If we increase the load further and if we try to remove the load, what will happen? Now material will not regain its original shape and size. And if we increase the load further to, let's say, 60 kilonewton or 70 kilonewton, what will happen? The rod will eventually break. So this is nothing but your destructive test which is getting performed. This is the destructive test which is getting performed to find out the strength of this material. Now, let's say if we are taking mild steel into account, so we are trying to find out the load carrying capacity of mild steel. From that, we will get the value of Young modulus. Okay, so this is the curve which will get plotted whenever we will perform the tension test. Okay, now initially up to point A, what will happen? It will regain its original shape and size. Okay, so up to A, what will happen? A is called as your proportionality limit. A is called as proportionality limit, and up to A, your Hooke's law will be valid. means the material will regain its original shape and size. Your stress will be directly proportional to strain. If stress is directly proportional to strain means what? जितना भी deformation होगा, that will be proportional to, your deformation will be proportional to the load applied. Please try to understand this logic. Your load will be proportional to, deformation. Load will be proportional to deformation, and force is proportional to deformation. If I divide the force by a constant entity, that is A, so it will become stress. And if I divide this change in length by a constant entity, that is length, what I will get? I will get strain. So up to a point, your stress will be directly proportional to strain. So up to a point only, there will be, up to a point only, E will be valid. E will be valid, or we will get the E value. It means for a ductile material, the E value will be in existence up to point A only. Now, what is B point? See, B point is called as your elastic limit. B point is called as elastic limit. Please try to understand this thing. B is called as elastic limit. See, after, up to point A, there was a linear deformation. Stress was proportional to strain. But from A to B, what will happen? There will be certain amount of non-linear deformation. Even though stress will be directly proportional to strain, but that proportionality will be maintained, but the curve will be non-linear. So B point will be your elastic limit. Okay. Now, to understand the yielding limit, please take an example of yourself only. Okay. Abhi, are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Am I audible? Yes. Okay. So we will quickly go back to this, stress strain curve. This curve is very, very important from our, further studies as well. Now, please try to understand. अगर मैंने आपके ऊपर बहुत सारा होमवर्क दे दिया, ठीक है, इनिशियली यू आर एनर्जेटिक, यू आर एंथुसियास्टिक, सो व्हाट यू विल डू लॉट ऑफ वर्क व्हाट एवर आई एम गिविंग टू यू. ठीक है, राइट नाउ अभी तक मैंने आपको कुछ भी लोड नहीं दिया है, तो ठीक है, अभी सर ने थोड़ा सा दे दिया है, तो यू विल डू इट. ठीक है. नाउ if I increase the load further, if I am giving more amount of assignments to you, what will happen? ठीक है, आप में से बहुत सारे लड़के बोलेंगे अरे ये क्या चल रहा है, इतना लोड देता है क्या कोई, इतना असाइनमेंट देता है क्या, all these things will be discussed within you. Okay, and then if I increase the assignments further, you may say sir, out of you many of you will say sir ये assignment हम नहीं कर सकते, lot of assignments you are giving to us. Okay, and many of the students may say sir कुछ नहीं हम कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, same thing will happen with this material. Initially when the load was less, assume your assignments analogous to your load. ठीक है, जब आपका लोड कम था तब सबने असाइनमेंट किया. ठीक है. नाउ इफ आई इंक्रीज द लोड फर्दर, इफ आई एम इंक्रीजिंग द असाइनमेंट, व्हाट विल बी योर मेंटल बिहेवियर? You will start making some jugards. Okay, so initially you will resist it, and if it is not possible, you will try to make some jugards, and that same thing will happen with the material. From B to C, material will try to reorient itself. Material will try to getting prepared to take more amount of load, and this zone is called as, from B to C, it will be your yielding zone. Whenever we will perform this experimentation, you will get to know this curve will be something like this, something like this. Okay, so here after A point and B point, again there will be C point and D point. C point will be called as yield point, upper yield point. D point will be called as lower yield point. Okay, so in this yield zone, what will happen? Material will try to orient itself to take more amount of load. It is getting ready to to make or to take the more amount of load. See, आप भी हार मानने वालों में से नहीं हो. आप क्या करोगे? असाइनमेंट तो सबमिट करना है. असाइनमेंट सबमिट करने के लिए व्हाट यू विल डू? यू विल स्टार्ट कॉपिंग द असाइनमेंट, और यू विल स्टार्ट मेकिंग सम जुगाड्स. ठीक है, टू सबमिट द असाइनमेंट. And when this case will happen, if the assignments are increasing, Okay. Now, after making this jugaad, what will happen? Again, you will be ready to take more amount of load. क्योंकि फैकल्टी तो मान नहीं रहा है. So what you will do? You will start making this, submitting this assignment by either copying or by some other means, and you will start doing the things. It means you will be ready to take more amount of load. So after D, as soon as I will increase the load further, what will happen? With the increasing load, what will happen? The deformation will also go on increasing. And between D to E point, see, even though it is taking load, but lot of resistance will be there. Lot of resistance means you will, आप जब भी assignment करोगे, आप, you are not doing it with your, will, but you are trying to oppose it by some way. There will be lot of resistance to it. And from D to E, your stress will not be proportional to strain. So from D to E, it is called as strain hardening zone. This zone is called as strain hardening zone. Okay, lot of resistance will be there from the material side, and further, whenever we are increasing the load, proportional, there will not be a deformation. Okay, deformation ज़्यादा होगा to take the small amount of load. Okay, so this zone is called as strain hardening zone. Now let's take an example for this E point. ठीक है, now मैंने बहुत सारे assignment दे दिए. ठीक है, many of you may say, sir बहुत हो गया, अब फेल हो गए तो भी चलेगा, but we are not going to do your assignments, and that case is your ultimate point. लिमिट हो गया, इसके ऊपर मैं काम नहीं कर सकता हूं, इसके ऊपर मैं लोड नहीं ले सकता हूं. व्हाट यू विल से, सर कुछ भी हो जाए अब असाइनमेंट नहीं लूंगा. ठीक है, इफ आई इंक्रीज द फर्दर, इफ आई इंक्रीज द लोड फर्दर, व्हाट विल हैपन? You are not going to do any assignments, you are not going to take the load. Okay, same thing will happen with that material is not going to take the load even if I am increasing the load further. And that point, yielding will start, yielding, there will be a necking, and this necking will cause, the curve to go downward. Now this thing we will discuss later, because here there will be true stress and true engineering stress concept that we will discuss later. But what will happen after E point? There will be a necking, or there will be a failure, and eventually at this F point there will be a failure. Okay, understood? So E to F will be your necking zone, E to F will be your necking zone. And in this curve, is it visible? Curve is visible to you? Okay, now this dotted line is for true stress. So whenever we will try to talk about experimentation, that time we will try to talk about what is true stress, what is engineering stress, that things will be discussed later. So right now you have to concentrate on this proportionality limit, yield limit, and elastic limit. Okay, till now in the previous classes you studied that your stress is directly proportional to up to elastic limit, but that is not true. Okay, your stress is directly proportional to strain up to proportionality limit only. If proportionality limit word is not given or it is not mentioned, then stress will be directly proportional to strain up to elastic limit. Okay, is it okay? Is it okay? Now these things are already discussed. What is Hooke's law? Hooke's law, there will be a linear relationship between your stress and strain. Now linear relationship will be up to point A, and that will be your proportionality limit. So Hooke's law will be valid up to proportionality limit. So please keep a note of this thing. Now then, if we try to take the shear stress and shear strain, we will get another elastic constant, and that will be called as modulus of rigidity. And modulus of rigidity is nothing but shear stress upon shear strain. Similarly, I already told you there will be another modulus for volumetric stress and volumetric strain, and it will be given it will be called as bulk modulus, and it is denoted by K. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? ठीक है, modulus of rigidity is getting denoted by G, whereas bulk modulus is denoted by K, and Young modulus is denoted by E. ठीक है, now we need to talk about their relationship. See, this relationship, there is no need for derivation. If you want me to derive these things, I will separately do it on the some other portion, or I will derive these things and give it to you, because derivations nobody is going to ask, only the formulas, and based on the formula there will be numerical. this subject is totally numerical part, or this, there will be numericals only. So we will try to concentrate on numerical part only. Now, before going for this relationship, we must know what is Poisson's ratio. I think most of you have covered Poisson's ratio in previous classes, but in short, I will let you know. See, a rod is there along the longitudinal axis. If I try to apply the load, okay, so there will be a deformation along longitudinal axis. So due to this deformation, the rod will be, there will be extension in the rod. At the same time, if we try to talk about the lateral side, there will be compression. Okay, initially it was up to the diameter was this much. Now due to the pulling in the longitudinal axis, in the lateral side, what will happen? There will be reduction in the diameter. So this relationship between lateral side, between lateral axis and longitudinal axis is given by Poisson's ratio. So what is Poisson's ratio? Deformation in lateral direction upon deformation in longitudinal direction. Rather, using the deformation word, I may say a mu, which is your Poisson's ratio, will be nothing but lateral strain upon longitudinal strain. So why minus sign is there? You may ask the next question. See, please try to understand. If I am pulling a rod in the longitudinal direction, what will happen in the lateral direction? There will be a compression. Okay, so there will be always a opposite to your longitudinal direction. If I am compressing the rod in the longitudinal direction, what will happen in the lateral direction? There will be a expansion, or there will be extension in the lateral direction. So that's why this minus sign is there. Okay, so your mu is nothing but your lateral strain upon longitudinal strain. ये भूलना नहीं है आपको. Now, what is the range of mu? For engineering material, your mu will vary from 0 to 0.5. Please keep a note of this thing. Okay, if mu is 0, what it mean? If mu is 0, what it mean? Your lateral strain upon longitudinal strain will be equal to 0. If it is 0, means even if I am applying a load, there will not be any deformation. Are you getting my point or not? Okay, so in case of, I will directly let you know the material. For engineering materials, your mu will vary from 0 to 0.5. Now, for cork, mu will be equal to 0. For rubber, your mu will be equal to 0.5. So please keep a note of this thing. And for mild steel or any other material, engineering material, it will vary from 0.25 to 0.35. Okay, is it okay? So whatever stress strain curve we have discussed, this was for ductile material. Ductile material कौन सा रहता है? Mild steel, okay, aluminium. So for this material, this curve or this kind of curve we will get whenever we will perform tension test on the UTM machine. Okay, so for ductile material only we will get this kind of curve. For brittle material we will get this kind of curve. Okay, so from the first instant only, stress, for some instant stress will be proportional to strain, but after that we will not get the zone like structure in brittle material. So for whenever we will perform tension test on brittle material like cast iron, we will not get a proper zone divided or zone structure in stress strain diagram. We will directly get a curve like this. Okay, will it be okay? Will it be okay? So one more concept I would like to let you know. Okay, now please try to understand what is the difference between mild steel and your any ductile. What is the difference between ductile material and brittle material? Please try to understand here. Okay, that we will cover later whenever there will be a factor of safety. Let's go for numerical first of all. Sorry, let's go for numerical. So this is the first numerical. A rod of 50 centimeter long and of diameter 2 centimeter is subjected to axial pull of 20 kilonewton if the modulus of elasticity of the material of the rod is 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. Determine the stress strain and elongation of rod. Now this is the very simple problem we can have. Okay, now what are the things given to you? Length of rod is given to you. So I already told you, you have to sit with a copy and calculator. Calculator is very important thing. Okay, now this is the first problem. So I will discuss about the your sign conventions as well as your units. Okay, so whenever we are solving a problem in solid mechanics, please keep a note of this thing. Your stress should always be in Newton. Okay, and sorry, your load should always be in Newton, and your stress should always be in Newton per mm square. Okay, it means your area will be in terms of mm square. Okay, and your change in length should also be in mm, and length should also be in mm. Now if we try to talk about strain, strain will be your unitless quantity. So ये सब आपको ध्यान में रखना है, हर बार आपको यही साइन कन्वेंशन या फिर इसमें ही आपको डील करना है. Even though it is not given, you have to convert it back to the original dimensions. Okay, now length which has been mentioned over here is 150 centimeter. Okay, now we want it in mm. Okay, so first of all I will draw the figure for it. So this is the rod, and what has been given? Axial pull of 20 kilonewton has been applied. Axial pull of 20 kilonewton has been applied. Okay, now due to this axial pull, so this will be nothing but force. Force कितना दिया हुआ है, लोड कितना दिया हुआ है, 20 किलो न्यूटन. मुझे किस में चाहिए, न्यूटन में चाहिए. So what I will do, किलो न्यूटन will get converted into न्यूटन. So 20 into 10 cube न्यूटन. Okay, now length, इसका length आपको दिया हुआ है. Initially the length was 1500 mm. Now due to this pull, what will happen, there will be some change in length, and that change in length is nothing but we have to calculate. क्या क्या कैलकुलेट करना है हमें? इलोंगेशन ऑफ द रॉड निकालना है, स्ट्रेन निकालना है और स्ट्रेस निकालना है. इनिशियली वी विल गो फॉर स्ट्रेस. स्ट्रेस निकालने के लिए मुझे क्या चाहिए? सिग्मा विल बी इक्वल टू फोर्स अपॉन क्रॉस सेक्शन एरिया और लोड अपॉन क्रॉस सेक्शन एरिया. आपको लोड दिया हुआ है, लोड दिया है या नहीं दिया है? लोड दिया हुआ है, कितना है? 20 किलो न्यूटन और 20 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. What about cross section area? Is it given? No, but the diameter is given to you. This diameter is given to you. And how much is the diameter? Diameter is 2 centimeter. Again it is given in centimeter, so we will convert it into mm. So 2 centimeter will become 20 mm. So 20 mm will be your diameter. Now from the diameter, as it has been mentioned that it is a rod, so what will be the cross section area? Cross section area will be pi by 4 into d square, and this pi by 4 into d square, in this case it will be 314.59 mm square. Okay, so area will be 314.159 mm square. So you can always calculate what is stress value. Please calculate the stress value and let me know in the comment box. Next thing, you have to calculate the strain. Strain is nothing but change in length upon original length. You don't know the change in length, so you can't directly calculate what will be the strain. So what you need to calculate? You need to calculate the elongation of rod first. To calculate the elongation of rod, see in the start of lecture it has been mentioned to calculate the change in length for the simple problems or for a longitudinal stress applied, longitudinal force applied. What will be the formula? The formula will be F into F by change in length will be F by A into what? Change in length upon original length, that will be equal to E. So change in length will be equal to what? It will be F into L divided by AE, FL by AE. Now E is nothing but your Young modulus. It has been given in the problem in terms of 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. So it is given in our sign conventions or in our units only. So we will take it directly and then we will calculate change in length. So please calculate change in length. To calculate change in length, force will be 20 into 10 cube into length कितना रहेगा? Length will be your 1500 mm. What will be A? A will be 314.159. And what about E? E will be 2 into 10 to the power 5. So by that, we can calculate change in length. Please let me know the change in length. So this change in length will be elongation of the rod, and then we will calculate the strain value. How to calculate the strain value? Change in length upon original length. Please calculate these things and please let me know in the comment box right now. Okay. So this is the first numerical that we have completed. If you have any doubt, you can always raise the doubts in in your doubt section. Okay. So I'm getting the answers from most of the students. Ankush Desai, Adesh Gopane, Shaha, More. Okay. So only this much of students are solving the problems. I think other students don't want to solve the problem or what? What is the problem? कॉपी करके नहीं डालना है, सॉल्व करना है. So what is 0.477? Is it a change in length? Is it a change in length? Okay. 0.477. Is it a change in length? Yes. Okay. And what about stress? What about stress? 63 point. Okay, 63.67. Please write down the units as well. It will be Newton per mm square, which is MPa. Which is MPa. Okay. Now, what is strain? What is strain? What is strain? Change in length upon original length. Can you calculate the strain? How much is the strain? (3.183 into 10 to the power minus 4). Very good. Very good. So